Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so Lakers, Bulls, 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, um, in Chicago. And the Chicago Bulls are a team that's kind of doing how we're doing right now as a squad. They've lost 3 of their last 5. Their last game was against the Philadelphia 76ers, where they did get the win. Joel Embiid had scored his fourth 40-point game this month of December, but it wasn't enough to beat the Bulls because Vucevic had, I believe, 23 points, had a pretty good game against his old team, of which I never knew he played for Philly. He actually, I guess, was drafted to Philly, played his rookie season there or something like that. I didn't know that until today. But whatever the case may be, he went to Philly and had a very good game for himself. So that was what they more or less are kind of coming off of as they go into what it is that we're bringing to the table, which is a team that's struggling, having lost 3 of our last 5, losing to the Knicks in the last one, in a game where we kept our turnovers down, shot a good amount of threes, more than usual, but we did not hit them, and they were not great selections, if you ask me. Bron James' shot selection was kind of not good. I think he's playing like tired Bron, which is a guy who settles for threes and sometimes takes frustration threes, things like that. But he did have a triple double in that game, so his stats were still fantastic. 3 for 13 for Torian Prince from behind the arc. That was really a step down from what Torian's been doing over the last month or so, shooting above 50% from behind the arc. But his attempts usually stay around 6 or under, and so we had him attempting 13, and I just think that saturates or drowns out your percentages expectations. If a guy's shooting 50% but only attempts 6 of them, you have him shooting double that, is going to drown out that percentage, is what I'm trying to say. So I think that needs to be re-examined, in my opinion. You don't expect a guy to hit half his shots if he hits 13 of them, if he takes 13 of them. But that's just kind of what the Lakers were going for. Austin Reeves had a pretty good game. And they had a dog at the game wearing his jersey, so I don't know how much that had to do with it. But Austin was really playing well, man. He had that dog in him, but we had some key turnovers that really hurt us there. And so it kind of drowned out his performance in a way with the key turnovers. Anthony Davis played pretty well, but I thought we substituted him a bit sporadically a little bit. I thought he wasn't in the game enough for the type of advantage we wanted to take, and ultimately we allowed the Knicks to really jump on top of us, particularly killing us on the boards by 12 boards. So we need to do a better job tonight, man. We need to push Vucevic off the glass, and make sure he's not boarding like the center from the Knicks, whom I can't remember his name right now, but he was killed us. He had 17 boards. I think 7 of them were offensive. Hartenstein. So we need to do a better job against the Bulls, and I don't think the Bulls are as big. In fact, they're really dealing with some injuries right now in a real way. Now they got 2 guys that I've never heard of who are out for this game. Henry, I don't know how to even say these guys' names, but there's 2 dudes don't know out. So that's one thing to understand. Another is that they're going to be down Torrey Craig for the next 4 to 6 weeks. He has a heel injury that has him basically immobilized for the next 4 weeks. So it's going to be tough for him. But that is what's going on there. Alex Caruso is a game time decision, dealing with some type of leg injury or foot injury of some sort. So hopefully AC decides to sit this one out against his old squad. And Patrick Williams is a game time decision as well. He's not expected to be 100% if he does go, but he's game time. And we won't be seeing Zach LaVine tonight. Of course, everybody knows Zach LaVine is linked to the Lakers, but he's not going to be able to go tonight with foot inflammation and various different things that really don't make it too attractive there in regards to a trade. So, but you are going to have to deal with a few players that will most definitely be ready to go. DeMar DeRozan, fantastic shooting guard, small forward. He's more of a small forward in this league. Has been an all-star many times over, and he's playing some really good ball right now. In fact, about 5 games ago against the Bucks, he had 40 points, 11 assists, and the second Bull to ever do that behind Michael Jordan. So that's the type of rhythm he's in right now. And then a guy by the name of Kobe White, who's broken all the way out, as I've told you guys a couple times this week. Kobe White's basically playing like an all-star, stepping in for Zach LaVine, shooting crazy from behind the arc, averaging over 3 made threes a game, and ultimately just really just turning himself into a fantastic overall player. Assists, rebounds. He's doing it all, man. So, just looking back at the Bulls, what they've been doing, of course, as we said, the Philly game. Before that, they had 2 straight games against Miami. One of them where they won, the first one they did, and the second one where they lost the buzzer to Jimmy Butler's his fantastic mid-range jumper. It was sweet, all net, and that broke their hearts pretty good. And of course, they had that Buck game I told you about 5 games ago, and I don't remember who they played after the Bucks, but I do think I don't even want to guess, but it's one of those situations where they've played sporadic, close games, but nothing to cry home about. And so this is a situation where, when you go into it with this team, you know that they just beat a very good, capable Philadelphia team. And basically what their coach is saying is that he likes how they're responding to good teams. Now, if they see us as a good team, I appreciate that, but we haven't been playing good ball right now. But when Bron and AD comes to town, you're gonna show up. And given the fact that this is AD's hometown, I expect for him to really show up. He's gonna always want to play well against the Chicago Bulls. So, the Lakers kind of embarrassed themselves over the last 4 games, having lost to Dallas, San Antonio, played a bad game against San Antonio where we won as well, but it was bad. We weren't very pleased after the win. And then, of course, against the Knicks where we just got destroyed on the board. So since winning the in-season tournament game championship, I'm pretty damn certain the Lakers have played some of their worst ball. But we're getting healthier. Because the only player we're expecting to be out tonight is Jalen Hood-Schifino. Everybody else, including Gabe Vincent, is expected to give it a go. Gabe Vincent is a game-time decision. We had him targeted for the Knicks game. Didn't go for the Knicks game. I think he'll be ready for tonight. I think so. How that affects rotations, I'm concerned about. And you guys, if you follow me close enough, we had a nice long conversation about that a few days ago, right before the Knicks game, where I just don't know if he's going to hurt the rotation the way Coach likes to play certain players, particularly guys who are under 6'3". Last year, he proved he likes playing those guys more. He likes playing people with height. And Gabe Vincent's about 6'2". So this has already been seen in the preseason where Gabe Vincent got like 38 minutes in a game and played poorly. And I just am concerned that this is what our coach is prone to do. Just guys short, play them more. I don't particularly get it, nor do I like it at all. But hopefully that's not what we see tonight or at any given point, really. If Gabe Vincent's hot and on fire, cool. But for me, Gabe Vincent's in the Taurean Prince category. You use him when you need him. Don't overuse him because he's not dynamic enough, in my opinion, to make that make sense in a lot of situations. So I hope we're still able to use Cam Reddish. I hope we're still able to use Max Christie, who got a DNP in the last game. Played pretty poorly in the San Antonio game where we lost. So I don't know if he's all the way out of rotation now. I don't think that's a good idea. You got to keep developing that kid, keep confidence in him, and don't forget about the times when he has played well and helped you. So that's my concern. I think we're going to get Gabe Vincent in here, probably start moving players around in ways that don't really make sense while coach tries to figure it out. So if I'm a betting man, I say the rotations aren't going to be very favorable to Laker fans' eyeballs, to be honest with you. We tend to find ourselves frustrated, and now that coach has all these options, we're gonna see him do some things tonight. Try to take advantage of those options in his own way, and hopefully that doesn't frustrate us. But I expect it to be honest with you. But nevertheless, man, this is one of those games where we definitely want to win. It's the first of a back-to-back, so hopefully we can get a very easy win. Although I don't think this is an easy team. Given the fact that they're down so many players, and they are down quite a few in theory, you should be able to kind of take advantage of them, particularly in the front court with AD. So hopefully we can get us a double-digit lead, have Bron and AD sit the second half of that game to a degree, and be ready for Minnesota tomorrow at 6 p.m. So that's going to be tough going up against Minnesota as a second of a back-to-back. And then after that, if I'm not mistaken, we will have a game against the OKC Thunder and then the Boston Celtics, and then we have to see Minnesota again. So it's one of those situations where we got a tough stretch here, Lakers. I mean, this is probably one of the toughest stretches we've seen in 2 years, to be honest with you. Just every team that we see is either really good or has a player that's absolutely breaking out, like Kobe White. And do not take him lightly, man. He's going to want to show up tonight. He's going to hit shots from behind the arc. Over the past 3 games, the Bulls have basically shot over 38% from behind the arc. So we need to be very, very aware of how to guard the perimeter against this team. They're going to shoot him. They're going to shoot him well. And that's really what it is. Now, depending on who's playing will determine how much size they have in the front court. Patrick Williams, with it being a game-time decision, I'd imagine he's going to want to play, but I don't really know what his situation is. But he's a game-time. AC's a game-time. And several other players as well. But given the fact that Torrey Craig is now removed from the lineup and they haven't had him out of the lineup until now, basically, I think he either didn't play in the last game or did and got hurt in that game. I'm not really sure how it went, but he's going to be officially out of the lineup from here on out. So their rotations could be a little funny as well for them, particularly with that front court. The other 2 guys that I'm not familiar with are also forwards, so it's going to get real tricky for them. Ayo Dosunmu. You definitely want to know Ayo Dosunmu. He's playing well as well. He may have to play some forward to help with what they got going on, but he's definitely somebody who's, in my opinion, a triple-double threat, a defensive player, hometown kid from Chicago, and can get assists. Not really a great scorer, but he does a lot of combo stuff for them and can get out in the open court, fly around, dunk on people, get to the lane, get to the line. So be aware, Ayo Dosunmu, he is going to help. And with this particular team, what you got to understand is they have multiple playmakers in their lineup. Kobe White's going to make assists. DeMar DeRozan makes assists. Caruso makes assists. So Vucevic and Patrick Williams, Ayo, as I said, he makes assists happen as well. They all play off of one another, sort of like OKC with all those damn point guards and assist players on their team. So you got to understand their continuity should, in theory, be pretty good. And given the fact that Kobe White's shooting the 3, that was kind of their Achilles heel last year. They didn't really have that dynamic in place. But now, with him shooting the way that he is, Vucevic also capable of hitting the 3, you got to be very careful about what type of defense you play against this team, because they definitely are unselfish. You don't really want to double team too many people on the squad. They play off one another. So it's going to be interesting to see. And, of course, if AC plays, you got to deal with a dynamic defensive player down there. So we got to be careful. They tend to give him the ball in clutch situations. It could be anybody who hits the last shot if it's a close game. They don't really have a designated closer, but they do have guys they trust. So we got to be careful with them in that way. And overall, this is a Bulls team that I think is better than their record. And given the fact that they're down Zach LaVine, they have to play off one another even more. They don't have that go-to scorer necessarily. But like I said, I could argue Kobe White's playing better than Zach LaVine is expected to be honest with you. The way that Kobe's playing, he's really, really breaking out this season. If you check out his numbers over the last 15 games, he's basically been an all-star. So, that's what I expect from him tonight. He's not the old Kobe White. He's not just getting 10 minutes. They gave him 40 minutes in the last game against Philly. And I think they gave almost 40 minutes in the Miami game too, or something like that. So we just got to be very aware that he's going to be on the floor most of the time. And if you really want to beat this team, putting him in foul trouble might be a way to go. You get him off the floor, and it's going to be a different attack for the Bulls than what they've been able to benefit from. So, DeMar DeRozan is a mid-range jump shooter. You got to be very aware of DeMar DeRozan's dynamic ability. He could go off for 40 tonight. Obviously, he's from LA, so he's going to want to play well against his hometown team. That goes without saying. So we just got to be aware of the LA ties with him and AC, of course, winning a championship with the Lakers. It's going to be a lot of energy toward us that's going to be intentional on their home floor. So, all in all, I don't see an answer for Anthony Davis. That's what I don't see. But I haven't seen an answer for Anthony Davis really against a lot of teams, and we still haven't found ways to win as of late. I didn't think the Bulls, the Knicks had an answer. They beat us. Definitely didn't see one with San Antonio. And when we set him, they beat us. So, Dallas, I didn't see no answer there. They beat us. You see what I'm saying? Anthony Davis is going to have to impose his will like he did against the Pacers and lead his team to victory. We can't just be waiting on Bron, and we certainly can't wait on people like D'Lo, Cam Reddish. They're not going to score like that. Taurean Prince. Our role players are not consistent enough offensively to really get it done. So we're going to need Anthony Davis to step into his scoring bag and show his hometown team what time it is, you know? And so that's really what it is, man. DeMar DeRozan against his hometown team and Anthony Davis against his hometown team. I expect both of those players to be the guys to pay attention to. And, of course, LeBron James going into Chicago. Obviously, that's Michael's town. Obviously, he's trying to be the other guy considered for the GOAT conversation. So anytime LeBron goes to Chicago, you can expect it to be a big deal. And anytime LeBron goes up against DeMar DeRozan, you can expect it to be a big deal because he historically destroys DeRozan teams. It just is what it is. LeBron told. We know how that goes. So, you know, this is an eye-opening game. Although it's the first of a back-to-back, we don't want to punt either one of them the way that we've been playing. We want to win some games. We know that Celtics game is around the corner. It's coming on Christmas Day, so we just got a lot of stuff we need to pay attention to. But you know, we can't overlook the Chicago team. They are good enough to beat good teams, and they are inspired enough to show their best against us. So that's what I'm here to tell y'all, man. The Los Angeles Lakers will be wearing their purple road uniforms tonight. My least favorite Laker uniforms, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of those. And the Bulls will be wearing their whites. So that's how that's gonna go there. And yeah, man, I'm just curious to see who the Bulls are actually suiting up, man. If AC and Patrick Williams don't go, I think we got a much better chance of having an easy win. Nothing real easy against DeMar and Kobe and Vucevic, but it kind of takes away some of the meat and potatoes from what they can really do to you, especially since Torrey's out of there. So yeah, man, the return of Gabe Vincent. Hopefully Gabe Vincent can exceed all of my expectations. I don't have high ones, to be honest with you, but hopefully he can make us feel great about him and kind of turn the narrative around on him, because a lot of Laker fans, including myself, are just kind of hopeful that we'll just go ahead and move him. But he can change that by playing well, hitting big shots, playing defense, and ultimately doing great things with his minutes. So hopefully we'll see that if he gives it a go tonight. I think it would be smart to sit him tonight and just play him in the second of the back-to-back, then bring him back against Chicago and then sit him tomorrow anyway. Because, you know, when a player's fresh off injury, that's exactly what we're going to do. So it makes more sense for me to have him be fresh against Minnesota than to have him kind of play against Chicago and then sit the Minnesota game. Because I know how the Lakers are. That's exactly how it's going to go. So, I don't know. We'll see what they do. Hopefully Cam Reddish and can have a bounce-back game, because his offense was really hurting us in the last one. Even though his defense is fantastic, if he can't give us nothing from behind the arc, or if he can't hit shots and stuff like that, it really does become a negative situation. So, you know, I haven't been in love with the way the Lakers have been playing, y'all. I'm going to be honest with you. Our team has not looked good to me since the championship game, the in-season tournament. Everything we've done has just basically either been lackluster, looked like we were underprepared, guys were sitting, stuff like that. I just am hopeful that our team can come back healthy. I know Vanderbilt kind of re-aggravated the heel. He is also a game-time decision. I would not be upset if the Lakers set Vandy for tonight and just gave him tomorrow as a target game. So that's what I hope we do, especially since he's an old Minnesota Timberwolf, so he'd be very inspired to play against them. But I really don't know what the Lakers are going to do, man. I don't know. But what I do know is that it's going to be tough to win both of these games. And if we don't show up and play good ball, we will definitely lose both of these games. That's a fact. So Lakers better not overlook the Chicago Bulls, especially with the way Kobe Bryant is breaking out. Do not expect anything less than a star performance from that young fella. BDL 44, I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.